Well, welcome to the future. Welcome to Bitcoin, Bitumeros. We are live in this program. Bienvenidos al futuro. Bienvenidos a Bitcoin, Bitumeros. No sabía que estaba en vivo, pero ya estamos conectados. Así que un placer daros la bienvenida a todos los que ya estáis en directo. Today, as you know, we are going to make the program in English. Vamos a hacer el programa hoy en inglés porque tenemos un invitado que es el CEO de AI Nexus, que nos va a explicar pues, un poquito cómo funciona el proyecto y su origen, su objetivo, para que sepamos, ¿no? Un poquito más. Entonces, bueno, pues lo vamos a hacer en inglés porque es así. Entonces, antes de nada, voy a daros las fechas de apertura del token. Como todos sabéis, si habéis entrado a la app de Bit2Me, tanto la aplicación del teléfono móvil como la página web, pues ya os han aparecido esas fechas, pero para los que no, tenéis la apertura a partir de hoy, 2 de diciembre, ¿no? Del 2024, desde esta mañana, desde el día 10, está teniendo un éxito tremendo, ya hay muchísimas reservas. Se cierra el día 8 de diciembre de este mismo mes, ¿vale? A las 23:59. La ejecución de las reservas se va a dar el 9 del 12, o sea, el día siguiente, a las 10 de la mañana, y la apertura de compra ese mismo día, el 9 a las 12, ¿vale? Luego va a haber un cierre el 12 del 12, 3 días más tarde, a las 10, y luego el listing ya definitivo va a ser el 12 de diciembre a las 3 de la tarde. Va a haber un número de tokens en Bit2Me Launchpad en total de 50 millones de unidades, que sería el 5% del supply, y el precio de salida va a ser 0,006 euros. ¿Vale? Va a haber los límites de compra, que los tengáis en cuenta, van a ser el máximo de 5.000 euros y el mínimo de 100. So now I'm going to switch to English. Don't laugh, because I know all of you and you are watching this, but I'm going to try my best. So I'm going to explain the reservation dates, the reservation opening that is starting from today onwards. And so the 2nd of December at 10 a.m. this morning. The reservation is closing the 8th of December during the night, 23:59. The reservation execution is going to take place the 9th of December, the day after, and the purchase opening also the same day, December the 9th, okay, from 12. The purchase closing is going to be the 12th of December from 10 a.m., and the listing is going to take place the 12th of December from 3 onwards. So the numbers of tokens of A1X are going to be 50 million, 5% of the supply, in the price is going to be 0.006. Okay, there are some purchases limits. Maximum you can apply, you can purchase 5,000 euros, and the minimum amount is going to be 100 euros. So that's going to be the numbers. Just let us know if you have any question, any doubt. You have all the support team, as always. And now we are going to move to introduce our guest. That is Mihai Rad, that is a Romanian entrepreneur who has made a big splash in the online and mobile gaming world. His love for video games started early, and he managed to turn that passion into a successful career, becoming a standout in the gaming industry. So we are very pleased to have him here. Throughout his journey, Mihai has stayed focused on innovation and excellence, which has helped him earn his spot as a key leader in the field. On top of that, he is known for sharing his knowledge on experience and inspiring others to follow their own paths in gaming. So in short, Mihai Rad is a major player in the gaming world, known for his driven focus and the impact that he had on the industry. So just welcome you, Mihai. Thanks for joining us today and share all the information about AI Nexus. We are willing to hear you. How are you doing?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Javier. Your English is much better than my Spanish. So, hola, everyone. Unfortunately, I will have to speak in English in order to get the points across. But I love Spanish as a language. I love hearing it. I just can't speak it properly. So yeah, thank you again for the introduction. It's very nice to be here. Bit2Me has been an excellent platform so far, and we have a very large audience of Spanish-speaking players in our games. And a lot of them will be transferred to AI Nexus once we launch the app. So this is a very good synergy between your platform and what we're building.
Well, we are very excited, Mihai, to have you here. And I'm sure in the upcoming years you will do the same interview in Spanish. But
Yeah, I hope so. With the help of AI, maybe.
Yeah,
I can't do it myself. I'll have my avatar do the interview, and he will speak perfect Spanish. I'm sure.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. And later on, we will talk about the integrations, all the tools that you place within the game. Because we had a little chat before we start, and I thought I found it very, very interesting. So starting from the scratch, let's do a general overview and background. If you could tell us about the origin of AI Nexus, and also what inspired you to create this platform and focus on combining artificial intelligence. I think it's a very innovative way of approaching this technology with user-generated content.
Yes, very quickly, I will talk about my experience in gaming as well and how it started, because that will lead me to how I thought about AI Nexus. So I've been making games for about 16 years. I have a studio here in Romania, and we produce simulation games that we publish in our larger gaming network, which is called Ovilex. And that's where we have a lot of users in Web2. And we publish games on the app stores, on Google Play and on the iOS App Store. And there, our network has grown to about 30 million monthly active users and close to 2 million daily active users. So that's a huge user base that we have. And I decided to try and build an app that makes use of this large user base, but also takes a step forward towards Web3. Because I think Web3 is the next logical step, not only for gaming, for many other things, from finance to RWA and many other aspects of our current Web2 economy. And we decided to take this step, use our large user base and our knowledge on how to bring users from the app stores organically, but also give them incentives and bonuses in the Web3 space. So we're kind of trying to mix both worlds, Web2 and Web3, take the best out of both and combine them into a single app. So this is AI Nexus in short. Now, what the app itself is, we're basically building a mobile app. I'm not going to call it a game, because it's sort of a infrastructure platform that has games in it. So it's not a game per se, but what you do in it, you log in, you have a virtual avatar, you can cruise around different virtual spaces, you can own your virtual spaces, and you can customize stuff with AI tools, you can play mini games, you can create mini games, you can have friends, you can socialize, you can create contests, and it's just basically almost like a combination between The Sims, the video game, and Instagram, plus some AI and blockchain on top of it. So it's a very interesting mix that caters to a very large audience, from kids to grandparents. Everyone can find something to do in AI Nexus. And I think the main thing that I would like to point out is what you mentioned earlier, the fact that any user can go in AI Nexus and become a creator, in the sense that you don't have to have any graphical skills or technical skills, coding skills. You just go in, you type something, and beautiful stuff comes out from with the help of AI. We have a video that we might be able to show a bit later, where I will walk you through some of the AI tools that we have, the gameplay. It will be much clearer to the audience how things look and how the app functions if I explain it on the video.
Well, absolutely. Giovanni, if you want to, si quieres darle al play, que hoy Giovanni nos está llevando los mandos para que se vea el vídeo de fondo mientras Mihai nos explica, todo fenomenal. Okay, so this is a platform. It's not just a game. It's an environment. It's an ecosystem, an immersive ecosystem where regardless your knowledge, your experience, or your level of editing or programming or designing, you can get through and you can create an avatar, you can interact with different worlds. Now,
Yes.
so for someone that is new, someone that wants to try the platform, what will be the steps? What do they have to do currently, from this time, and then we will move to speak about the token.
Yeah. So at this time, the platform is still being built. If you don't mind, I will go with the video and then explain the steps. So you're just seeing some capture from the demo. We want to have our app live sometime in March next year. And then you will just download it from the Play Stores. That's it. You just enter, you create your avatar, and then you do whatever you see here. So for example, here I'm using the text to 3D to create objects. I'm just typing what I want, and the AI generates a 3D object. This is another tool, the world generator. You see the background behind the house. I just asked for it to be Aurora Borealis, and it changed that. And then I said sunny hills in Italy, and then I changed that. You can do nice. This was the video was presented in München, so I asked for an aerial view of München here. So
it's super realistic, Mihai? The city looks like real.
Yeah, you can create whatever you want around your virtual home or office. This is another cool AI tool. This is the image generator. You just go on the frame on the wall where a picture would be or a painting, and you just type what you want to be created. Again, I made the München Cathedral there, and then you can move it around. It's very intuitive. It's very easy to use. That's why I think a lot of people will enjoy it and learn how to use it instantly. So the whole idea is that you go into
Giovanni,
a single...
Giovanni, para un momento. Para el vídeo un momento. Parad un momento. Vete un poquito más para atrás. Yes, Mihai, I'm going to clarify some things that you are saying. I think I found them very, very interesting. So, lo que estáis viendo, because some people are watching in live and they wanted to clarify some things. Sure. Dale aquí, dale al play, Giovanni, un poquito más adelante. Un poquito más adelante. Un poquito más adelante. Un poquito más. Donde los cuadros. Aquí, déjalo aquí, dale al play. Para que veáis lo que está explicando Mihai, veis que salen como unos box en el centro donde tú puedes escribir. Vale, pues lo que está explicando en la imagen, la generación de imágenes que hay aquí, tú tienes un cuadro en la pared, escribes de qué quieres que sea ese cuadro y te aparece el dibujo del perrito. Vale, ahora está poniendo que aparezca una cascada y te aparece la cascada y luego la puedes mover de lugar, una ciudad, etcétera, ¿no? O sea, que puedes interactuar con la decoración que tú quieres poner en tu casa, ampliar el cuadro, moverlo de sitio, poner ese fondo. Now, just to clarify, Mihai, because I see people in live typing, so I think it's good to do that.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. And just feel free to stop me and clarify when there's something that's not very clear. Here you can see me talking to an AI agent using ChatGPT. You can train them to have a personality. You can use them for businesses as well. Right now you're looking at me testing with a team, and we went into our art gallery and we made sort of a contest of who creates the better art right there on the spot. And obviously we have what you see here are some preset characters dancing, using emojis. There's a lot of social interaction. You can give gifts, you can do stuff like that. This part is very welcomed in the simulation space. A lot of people like to decorate their virtual homes. And you can do that in AI Nexus with the furniture that we give you, but you can also create stuff with AI. What you see here is just a remodeling of the house. And here we're showing some of the business use cases that we designed for AI Nexus. This is the Multiverse X Hub. We're launching on the Multiverse X blockchain, which is an excellent platform for us. And we just designed this huge room where you can go and visit other projects from Multiverse X that have virtual spaces inside AI Nexus. I mean, that will have them once the app goes live. So, for example,
stop it for a second. Páralo, Giovanni, un segundo. Échale un pelín atrás y hago así un poco de matización. Vale, lo que está explicando Mihai, excuse me, Mihai, it's not polite, but I think it's...
No, please, por favor.
Lo que está diciendo Mihai es, primero, que puedes tú, con inteligencia artificial, puedes establecer la forma que quieres de tus muebles, ¿vale? Como habéis visto, del diseño que quieres que tengan. Y luego, la plataforma de AI Nexus está dentro de una blockchain que se llama Multiverse X, ¿vale? Que te puedes conectar no solamente a su plataforma, sino a todas las demás. Y es una plataforma que lo que hace es combinar todos los videojuegos. ¿Para qué? Para que tengan interacción unos con otros. Esa es la idea de Multiverse X, que además hay gente aquí en España desarrolladora con la que tenemos conversaciones y trabajamos. Simplemente por darle ese toque. Ok.
Right. So this is another feature, virtual AMA. It's basically what we're doing now, Javier, but with our avatars. As you can see here, we prepared a studio for our gaming network, where we want to have, just like on YouTube or on Twitter Spaces, the same sort of idea. But instead of just speaking, you have your avatar. So you can interact, you can have emotes, you can have dances, you can project stuff on screen. It's a more fun way to have a conversation than on Twitter Spaces, where it's just audio. And also, once we have enough users, we want to allow businesses to integrate in AI Nexus. So here you can see a template that we made for a virtual office. This could be a B2Me office, for example. You could go in, customize it, put the blue and white colors, upload your logo, create it your own. This is an art gallery, again, for artists, photographers. They can go in, own this space, display their art, have their friends visit, have their friends help them create art, stuff like that. So there's a lot of possibilities because AI kind of makes it all much easier. This is another space, Japanese Zen garden. Again, you can buy this space in the game and customize
para un momento, Giovanni. Entonces, lo que acaba de explicar Mihai es que todo lo que veis se puede diseñar y que, por ejemplo, si nosotros en Bit2Me quisiéramos tener una oficina, podríamos poner los colores un poquito. Esto es con los avatares reales, ¿vale? Ahí, desde ahí, Giovanni, desde ahí. Esto es con los avatares reales que hemos creado al entrar. Imaginaos que hacemos esta entrevista, pero con el avatar que hemos creado dentro de la plataforma y hacemos una entrevista virtual y todo el mundo puede estar ahí viendo a nuestros avatares interactuando como estamos haciendo ahora, pero dentro de la plataforma, ¿vale? Entonces, bueno, pues una forma más interactiva, al final, más inmersiva de realizar esta entrevista, por ejemplo. Luego, otra función que comentaba es que todos los edificios, todas las oficinas, todo el diseño, ¿no? es customizable. Tú puedes ponerlo con la integración de negocio, por ejemplo, estas oficinas podrían ser propiedad dentro de esta plataforma de Bit2Me, poner los colores y recibir a personas, a clientes, para explicarles o, por ejemplo, hacerles una demostración de Bitcoin o de las criptomonedas o de lo que queramos, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, pues todo se puede comprar y vender, que creo que eso es muy importante. So, Mihai, I'm saying that everything that you can see, you can buy it and sell it, right?
Yes, you can own one of these spaces and then mint it as an NFT and then sell it. If you want. The same with the 3D objects. You can create a 3D object that you really like, and then you can mint it as an NFT and sell it on the open market. Maybe someone will want it, who knows? It just gives everyone possibilities to create stuff without knowing, without being a content creator themselves. And here you can see some of the games that we integrated in AI Nexus. We want you, besides the AI tools, we want you to have fun. And there are many games, a lot of car games, because our audience primarily at first will be guys and girls that play simulation games. And we also have this AI games generator, which you will see in action right now. Basically, we will give you the game template, and you can just type the theme of the game. So, for example, steampunk, before it was candy, now we will make it futuristic looking. And you can just create your game and then have your own game, basically, that you can share with your friends, have a high score, and it's a lot of fun to make your own game. And here I'm showing some of the games that we published on Web2 in the Ovilex network. These are some of the titles and the download numbers that we've had on the app stores so far. So that's pretty much the app. Giovanni, thank you for sharing the video. I wanted to present the video because it gives you a better understanding, and the audience as well, of how the tools look, how they work, how easy it is. You just go, tap on something, type, and then that's it. It's really easy. Everything happens in one place. So I think
Well,
that
everyone is super excited. I think they understood perfectly the proposal, no? What the value that you are creating, and I think it's very straightforward, very clear. So you merge different tools from AI, you integrate it in a platform where you can virtually you can do a lot of things. You can create images, you can customize games, as you say. You can use a template and then move it to different designs. That's fantastic. So now, before we move to the questions from the public, from the audience, Mihai, I'd like you to explain a little bit better the token, no? A1X, what's going to be the purpose? How can you use it? And why do you think it's important part of the platform?
Yes. So we wanted to, there were a few things when we designed the token. I'm going to go through all of them. I hope it's not very boring, but it's important for the viewers to understand why we designed it this way. First of all, even though our app has games or can be called a game, I didn't want to make it play to earn. I don't think play to earn creates a sustainable token economy. I don't think you can keep the token's value going for long term, because play to earn just creates inflation. The more users you have, the worse the token performs. And in our case, we want to have a lot of users because we will transfer them from the network. So that was the first thing, no play to earn. The second thing
I'm going to say this in Spanish, Mihai, okay? I think this is important. Vale, para tener una diferenciación con otros tokens del pasado, de los típicos play to earn, ¿no? Juega para ganar. En este caso, el enfoque no es ese, ¿vale? Tiene un enfoque distinto que ahora nos va a desarrollar Mihai, porque decía que si hacía eso, el token al final se inflacionaba y que la gente lo vendía, solamente estaba ahí para ganar dinero, ¿no? Y que ellos le quieren dar otro enfoque.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. The second thing is that the token itself will have two different use cases. One will be B2B, business to business, in which we will create a dashboard where businesses can pay using the A1X token and get access to analytics on how users behave in a virtual world. There's nothing like this on the market right now. So let's say, let me give you a very concrete example. Let's say we have a furniture company that wants to create a product placement for their winter collection, right? And they would like to try a different medium of advertising, not just TV, radio, billboards, or social media. They want to try virtual advertising, virtual world advertising. But in order to do that, they need data. They need to know how users are behaving, what sort of users are in the virtual world. Are they buying virtual furniture? What kind of virtual furniture they're buying? And this is something that we want to offer to businesses through the dashboard. So this is the B2B aspect. The B2C aspect, the business to consumer aspect, basically is that our token has a lot of utility that reflects in the game itself. There's like 15 or 16 different things that we thought of, and hopefully we will add more as the app goes live. I'll just go through a couple of the main ones. So one of them is that you will be able to buy from our store, which will be on our website. You will be able to buy the same things that you can buy from the mobile app, but for about a 50 or even 60% discount. You will have to buy it with the A1X token. Why can we give you such a big discount if you're using the token? The main reason is that in the app, if you want to buy, let's say, some furniture or another virtual space, you will have to purchase it with your credit card. And you pay with your card, you get a pack of coins or diamonds that we will have in the game. But then Google and Apple take their 30% commission on that. And you obviously, that's a lot of discount that we can give you if you buy it using the token. We're not paying the app stores that commission. So that's pretty good. And then this encourages the usage of the token. Another usage would be staking the token. If you stake the tokens, you will get some rewards in A1X. but
Mhm.
also you will get a VIP membership in the app itself. So if you have tokens staked, depending on how many you have, there will be 5 different tiers. You will get different benefits in the app. So let's say you have a lot of tokens staked. Then you enter the app, we recognize your wallet, and we give you 5 free spaces, 2 pets, a car, access to mini games, just stuff that normally you wouldn't have access to, or you would have to pay in the game to get access to it.
Mhm.
And then for the token, we have a whole lot of other functionalities like we want to give creator incentives using the token. If someone, for example, creates a very popular space and brings in a lot of users from the outside, we will have a referrer program. So for every new user that you bring in the app, we will share some tokens. And that's basically the only, let's say, play to earn aspect of our app.
Mhm.
We are rewarding users who help grow the ecosystem. We're not
Okay.
paying users to play the games. That doesn't make sense because it kills the token. So
Mhm.
that's why we wanted to stay away from that. Yeah, and there are many other use cases. I don't know if you want me to continue or.
Yeah, let me summarize a little bit in Spanish.
Yeah,
Voy
exactly.
a resumir lo que ha explicado Mihai muy bien. Le he preguntado por un poco el modelo de negocio, el modelo de funcionamiento, de utilidad que va a tener el token dentro de la plataforma. Entonces, tienen 2 líneas. Tienen una línea que sería B2B, que sería para negocios, ¿vale? Negocios con negocios. Es decir, si una empresa, por ejemplo, que es fabricante de muebles, quiere tener un diseño dentro para que la gente lo vea y vea cómo interactúan los clientes comprando ese mueble, pues que puedan hacer como un display, que lo puedan mostrar como si fuera una exhibición y que la gente luego lo pueda comprar y vender. Y luego estaría el modelo B2C, que sería el modelo a clientes finales, que en ese caso, bueno, pues van a tener una opción que te va a permitir stackear esos tokens. Y luego, por supuesto, va a haber 5 tiers, 5 niveles, como nosotros tenemos en Bit2Me, 7 niveles de Space Center. Bueno, pues ellos van a tener 5 niveles para que en función de los tokens que tengas acceso a poder conseguir, a poder tener diferentes objetos, ¿no? Y luego, por otro lado, ha comentado que los objetos que adquieras con el token van a ser más económicos. ¿Por qué? Porque si tú compras directamente con Google Play o con Apple Store, te van a cobrar un fee, el intermediario. Entonces, en cambio, si lo compras directamente con el token de A1X, ellos pueden hacer, o todo ese dinero que te cobra la plataforma, ellos no te la van a cobrar, ¿vale? Entonces te sale más económico. Entonces tenemos staking, tenemos un sistema de tiers y luego tenemos un sistema de referidos, donde si también traes nuevos usuarios, bueno, pues también vas a tener mejor interacción, mejor recompensa y mejor experiencia al final, ¿no? Para que crezca la comunidad, que esa es la idea. I don't know if you understood, but I tried
No,
to.
yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. Yeah, thank you.
So, well, I see that people is writing live. Let me see if there is any questions. But before that, I would like you to explain a little bit about your community. For us in Bit2Me, it's very important to have a Telegram group, to have Discord, to have different platforms where you can find support or where you can find other users to interact, to share experiences, and so on. So if you want to tell us about this part, that I think it's also very, very important.
Yes, if I may, Javier, just before I go to that, one important thing about the token and the launch,
Sure.
because we talked about the use cases, but I also want to talk about the tokenomics itself.
Absolutely.
Because I think that's an important part. So we decided to go with a fair launch. This means that both users that use the launchpads, such as the B2Me launchpad, and private investors, they all get the same price. The price you mentioned at the beginning, 0.006. And they all get the unlock on listing day. And why I think this is a very interesting approach is because in most projects, the way it works is private investors and VCs buy the token at an 80, 70, 80, 90% discount compared to the public. But then and they have vesting. But when the token is released, every time they get their monthly vesting, they sell most of it because they're in profit. And who do they sell it to? They sell it to the retail buyers, to the community, to the public. in many cases to the fans of that particular project. And we wanted to stay away from this and give everyone equal rights at the beginning, make it a very democratic process, both private and public, same price, same unlock. It will be unlocked on TGE. And so this is the first thing. And I think this concept of a fair launch is probably the most honest way to launch a token, and you let the market decide what the token price is, not how many VCs bought at a favored price, or how many of them are willing to dump every time they get the investing. So this is one aspect. The second one is that we're launching with almost half of the supply on the market. And our fully diluted valuation is 6 million. And again, this is, I think, like a reality check for Web3 projects, because I've seen so many projects that have like 2% of the supply on the market, but their FDV is like 20 million. So that makes their company like a multi-$100 million company, which is nuts for a startup. You need to be realistic. You need to be business oriented. You don't have to invent numbers just because this is crypto. You need to go with something that makes sense in the real world as well. So that's what we try to do with the A1X token.
Well, I appreciate you. You mentioned this about the tokenomics. I think that's fundamental, and I'm going to clarify in Spanish if I understood correctly. Ha hablado del tokenomics, Mihai, y sí que es verdad que tiene una diferencia sustancial, enorme, con otros proyectos, ¿no? Lo que ha dicho Mihai es que en muchos tokens lo que sucede es que hay una parte del vesting, hay una parte de la emisión inicial que hacen los inversores, ¿no? Que se quedan ellos en primer lugar. Sí que es verdad que tiene una fase de vesting, que significa que no lo pueden vender durante unos meses, pero que cuando se hace pública la oferta, salen los tokens al mercado, lo que hacen es venderlos a los clientes retail. Entonces el precio baja mucho. Entonces lo que ha dicho Mihai es que quiere democratizar, quiere hacer justo el lanzamiento con el precio y que va a ser el mismo precio para todo el mundo, ¿no? Va a ser ese 0,0006. Entonces yo creo que esto pues es la verdad que es súper interesante, ¿no? Que no haya diferentes precios de salida para aquellos que forman parte del proyecto, sino que el proyecto ya salga con un precio definitivo para que los que participen desde cero, ¿no? Y yo creo que es una diferencia pues muy grande con muchos otros proyectos. Vamos a ver cómo va, porque yo creo que esto es súper innovador. Así que no sé cómo lo veis. Si queréis comentar este tema en el chat, en directo, fenomenal. Thank you, Mihai.
Gracias. And one more thing, the team allocation and the advisors allocation are small. Like team allocation is only 12%. Most projects have like 20, 25, 30% I've seen. And there's a good reason for this. We will be also generating revenue from the Web2 part of the app, from in-app purchases, ads, product placement. So we can continue the development of the app without having to sell tokens. And for that reason, the team allocation is small. And not only that, we locked our tokens for 1 year, and then it will be vested for another 3 years. So we will be getting all of our 12% 4 years from now. It's the same for our advisors, because I wanted this to be, again, in the interest of fairness, not to have any tokens that we can sell on the market, or if we do have them, they won't be now, at least for another year from now. I'm not sure if you want to translate this as well or not, but that pretty much sums up the tokenomics.
Bueno, básicamente no. Lo que comentaba Mihai es que van a tener una pequeña parte, efectivamente, para el equipo, pero que ese equipo ya está de antes. No dependen de este proyecto a medio y largo plazo, y que el equipo no va a poder disponer de estos tokens para venderlos hasta dentro de 4 años, ¿no? Entonces, que el precio de salida es el mismo para todos, que la plataforma ya está en funcionamiento. Ahora hay una pregunta de hasta qué punto está operativa. Vamos a responder a esas cuestiones, pero bueno, yo creo que es una forma diferente de lanzar el token a las que habíamos visto hasta ahora, que sí que es verdad que hay una parte que tienen los inversores y que tiene el equipo, pero que va a estar bloqueado durante mucho tiempo, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, pues que no depende la plataforma, el equipo, la empresa, de la emisión del token, de tener que venderlo para que el proyecto siga funcionando. Ese es el mensaje. Yep. So So, well, I think this is super interesting, Mihai, the way you want to release and launch the token. I told them that you have a part, as I understood, the team has a part, but you already had the company running. That means that you have a business already set up in place from the gaming industry, and you don't rely on the development of this platform. So it means you don't have to sell the tokens to make profit and to pay the developers and the rest of the team.
But also the app itself, the AI Nexus app, once we launch it in March, it will generate revenue from Web2, just from ads, in-app purchases. So it will kind of help pay for the developers, the graphic artists, the advertising, and everything like that. So we don't need the token as much as other projects do, like a Web3 project that doesn't have any Web2 revenue. Yeah, of course, they need a large team allocation. They need to sell tokens in order to continue developing. For us, it's very much reduced because we have the Web2 revenue aspect of it.
Claro, lo que él dice que ellos vienen de la plataforma Web 2, que ellos ya han desarrollado juegos, que ya tienen ese expertise, esa experiencia, ¿no? Y que ya están con un modelo de negocio y que a partir de marzo lanzarán la plataforma y que ahí tendrán un modelo de negocio de monetización directamente para la plataforma, que no dependen del token para poder seguir desarrollando su actividad. Ese es el tema. Yep, cool, man.
That's correct.
So,
thank you.
So there are a couple of questions here, but before that, if you want, we can move to the community and places where they can follow closer the team, the developments, because the first question they are asking is, well, in which stage is the platform currently, and how long is it going to take to release it fully operative, and so on. No?
Yes. So the community, we have, I think we're very active on Twitter, on X. If you want, you can check us out. It's at _AI_Nexus. I don't know how to say it in Spanish. Maybe you can help me with that.
I'm going to search it and leave it in the chat. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then we also have a Telegram and Discord and our website as well, which you can find from... the website is ainexus.ltd, and we will create another website for the A1X token. We already have the domain. I will let you know when we have it live. And you can join us, follow us on Twitter. We try to post almost every day, and we post content like behind the scenes. You can see how the game is being created. You can see how our studio looks, how we make the games, how we create the 3D objects, more details about the tokenomics, fair launch, more technical articles that we publish regarding AI, gaming, gamification. So if you're interested in this sort of project and you want to learn more about basically how games and AI and user-generated content will define gaming in the next few years, or at least in my opinion, please follow us on Twitter. And that's about it for the social aspect.
Os he dejado el link de la página web de Mihai, que es www.ainexus.ltd, ¿vale? Y ahí abajo del todo, si arrastráis hacia abajo el cursor, tendréis las redes oficiales. Tenéis X y las demás plataformas, ¿no? Para seguirles directamente en su cuenta y poder interactuar. También tienen Discord y también tienen Telegram, ¿vale? So I'm going to pick some of the questions people are doing live. We can start answering them, no? As an MIA. A ver, let me see. Liberation tokens. We can make a recall about the schedule when you can start purchasing. Voy a hacer un recordatorio de cuándo podéis empezar a comprar los tokens. Que sepáis que los tokens que tenemos asignados en Bit2Me están casi agotados, ¿vale? Que se han vendido casi todos a lo largo del día de hoy. O sea que va muy, muy bien. Si sois token holder de B2M y tenéis un nivel de Space Center, ya sabéis que tenéis prioridad para poder comprar los nuevos proyectos de Launchpad, como es el caso de A1X, ¿vale? Que me lío con el inglés. Y nada, si queréis entrar, lo podéis ver. Voy a recordar las fechas que he dado al principio para que lo tengamos todos claro. que decíamos que era la apertura a partir de hoy. O sea, hoy, esta mañana a las 10, ya se ha abierto, ya se han reservado muchísimos. El cierre es el día 8, pues que cae este sábado por la noche. La ejecución de la reserva es el día 9, ¿vale? De diciembre, a las 10 de la mañana. La apertura de la compra también es el 9 a las 12. El cierre es el día 12 de diciembre a las 10. El listing es a las 3 de la tarde del día 12. Y el total de tokens que va a haber en el Launchpad son 50 millones de unidades, que van a ser el 5% del supply total del token. Entonces, el precio, como recordamos, hemos dicho, sale a 0,0006, 3 ceros y un 6. El límite de compra van a ser 5.000 euros, ese es el máximo que se puede comprar por participante, y el mínimo 100 euros. ¿Ok? So just to do it very quick in English, the reservation opening is today from 10 in the morning. Just to let you know that most of the tokens have been booked already. We have a bunch of them, but people are wanting to buy them. So the reservation closing is the 8th of December. You have until Saturday night. Then the reservation execution is going to be the 9th of December. The purchasing opening also the 9th at 12. The purchase closing will be on the 12th and the listing that same day. So the number of tokens in total is going to be 50 million. That's 5% of the total supply. And the price is 0.006. Okay, the purchase limit, 5,000 euros. And the minimum is going to be 100 euros. So let's move to the questions. Mihai, I don't know. Sure. I don't know if you want to add some information or something else.
No, I think that's pretty much the basic information that you shared, and thank you for translating as well. And yeah, we can take some of the questions. I've already looked at some of them, and there's some more info to be shared once we answer.
Okay, let me see. Si queréis dejar las preguntas en español, no hay ningún problema, dejarlas en español, se las traducimos a Mihai. Vale, ¿hay algún airdrop para los B2M holders? Is there any airdrop for the B2M holders?
Yes, there will be.
There will be, no?
I can't give you all the details now, but we already discussed it and there will be an airdrop, yes.
Vale, pues que sepáis que sí, que habrá un airdrop para los que participéis a través de la plataforma. ¿Cuál es which is the network, the blockchain that is compatible with the token?
Yeah, it's Multiverse X. That's where we're launching the token. But obviously, once it's on exchange, you can trade it there without any issues.
Multiverse X, bueno, pues es una plataforma súper conocida. Si la buscáis, en Bit2Me también la trabajamos, si no me equivoco, creo que sí.
Just to Multiverse X is the old Elrond with the EGLD token. Maybe many people remember the old name, but they have rebranded to Multiverse X recently.
Sí la tenemos en Bit2Me. It's available in Bit2Me. Solo tenéis que poner EGLD o Multiverse X, ¿vale? Que es el circulito con la X de color verde en medio. Which is the best thing for the participants of the ICO?
I'll answer in Spanish. Zero. Did I say it correct? Yes, exactly. There's no vesting.
No hay vesting. Cuando se liberen los tokens ya podréis venderlos sin ningún problema, ¿vale? A ese precio de salida que hemos dicho, 0.06, y no hay vesting. Lo podréis vender cuando queráis. A ver, how is going to be the liberation of the token for the people who bought pre-sale? El día de la venta, el día 12, lo podréis empezar a vender ya si queréis, ¿vale? Como hemos comentado. O sea, no tiene vesting. Lo podéis vender cuando queráis. Aparte de B2M saldrá... besides Bit2Me, it's going to be available in other exchanges?
Yes, it will also be available on MEXC, and we're negotiating with one or two more exchanges. We will announce them on the social channels once we sign with them.
Comenta que sí, que va a estar disponible en MEXC y que están hablando también con otro par de exchanges. Se mueve Murillo por la red de Multiverse X, ¿vale? Creo que lo hemos comentado, La tenéis disponible, ¿eh? Ese token está en Bit2Me también. There's going, well, this is something maybe you don't know and I don't know either, because they are asking if it's going to be available in staking in Bit2Me. I think so. It will be, right? I'm not sure.
I don't know yet.
We don't know. No sabemos, Elvi, si va a estar en Earn, pero entiendo que es posible, ¿vale? Entiendo que es una posibilidad. No te lo puedo garantizar ahora, ni tampoco Mihai, pero lo vamos a estudiar y os avisaremos. Si al final A1X está en staking, en Bit2Me Earn, os lo comentaremos. They are requesting this feature.
Okay, yeah, noted. I haven't planned it, but I will take a note after this call, and we will discuss.
They are asking, I would like to know why Bit2Me is choosing this project. Bueno, pues esto lo voy a responder en español. Nosotros hacemos un due diligence de todos los proyectos, estudiamos qué equipo técnico tienen, qué trayectoria tienen las personas que están lanzando ese token, estudiamos el tokenomics, hay un equipo específico que habla con todos los técnicos de su equipo y si vemos que hay un proyecto por detrás, que hay un desarrollo, que hay una empresa seria, entonces decidimos listar el token en Bit2Me, ¿vale? O sea que nosotros hacemos nuestro estudio, análisis para ver si el token de A1X encaja un poco para traerlo dentro de Bit2Me, es decir, no listamos cualquier proyecto ni muchísimo menos, todo lo contrario. Creo haber leído que se liberará un día después del fin del lockup, es decir, el día 13. ¿Cómo de funcionalidad está? So they are asking if they download the app currently, can they start to interact or doing some stuff with it?
Yeah, currently the app is not live. We only have the demo that we presented, and we want to publish the app for everyone in March of next year.
La plataforma definitiva sale en marzo. Ahora hay una demo, que es la que habéis visto en el vídeo, pero hasta marzo no sale la plataforma definitiva, ¿vale? O sea que le quedarían 3 meses. Javier Cuevas, will it be available in Bit2Me Pro from the first day? I'm not sure, Mihai, if you know about this. Bit2Me Pro is the high frequency trading platform in Bit2Me. We have like the wallet and then we have the trading platform.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it will be.
No estamos 100% seguros, pero creemos que sí, ¿vale? De todas formas, esto lo anunciaremos, Javier. Can you tell us about any wallet that is compatible with MultiverseX?
Yes. MultiverseX has their own wallet, which is Xportal. You can find it at xportal.com. It's a really good wallet. It's gamified. We are actually working together with them, and once we launch the app, we will have a lot of integrations with Xportal. Check it out. It's really safe. It's really fun. I can fully recommend it.
Perfect. JM Max, Xportal, os lo dejo ahí escrito. Comenta que tiene un montón de interacción y un montón de aplicaciones y que está muy bien, que es de la propia MultiverseX, que lo han desarrollado. O sea que Xportal se llama. Perfecto, realmente no puedo entender cómo B2M no está volando. Vale. Gracias, inversor. ¿Dónde se puede ver la cantidad de tokens que hay en tener los diferentes tiers de la plataforma? So, is there any place where they can start checking, they can check the amount of tokens they hold to see the different tier levels that there are going to be, the 5 levels you explained before?
It's not, yes, it's a good question, but we haven't announced it yet because we still need to finalize the mobile app before we can decide the levels and what the rewards are for each of the levels.
Que no está disponible, pero que eso cuando se lanza la plataforma, que va a ser algo que, bueno, pues que esté ahí, evidentemente, ¿no? This question is in English. Don't you think we are going to have a strong sales force in the launch if you release all the tokens at the same time?
Yes, this is also a good question, and I receive this question in every AMA. Think of it this way. You buy it for 0.006. Everyone else buys it for 0.006 in private and public. If you were to sell it, you will need to, even if it's at the same price, you will need to sell it at the loss. I think investors that understand that our project is a long-term project, like this is a 5-year plus app that I want to build, with a token that will support the app, and the token will grow as the app grows, they will understand that this is not just a short sort of a buy and sell quickly opportunity. Who wants to do that? Sure, they can do that, but then they'll miss out on the long term if the token does well and it grows together with the app.
Bueno, lo que ha dicho básicamente es que si tú compras a 0.06 para especular en el corto plazo, bueno, pues es posible que tenga sentido, pero mucha gente no, o sea, lo que ellos pretenden es que la gente esté con el proyecto, esté a medio y largo plazo, que es su propuesta de valor, es lo que quieren conseguir, y que venderlo el día siguiente de haberlo comprado a 0.06 todo el mundo sin que haya un escalonado, que no va a tener sentido, porque tampoco le vas a sacar un profit, ¿no? Entonces, claro, si está al mismo precio que lo compraste, pues tampoco tiene por qué haber una venta masiva. I understand that is compatible with Ethereum.
No, it's just on Multiverse X for now.
Es un token desarrollado para la plataforma de Multiverse, que es más para este tipo de desarrollo de videojuegos, ¿no? No tanto Ethereum, que luego los fees en Ethereum son como un poco más altos.
Exactly. One of the reasons why we chose Multiverse is that if we have millions of users in our app and we will be paying for their transaction fees, just think about what the costs would be on a platform like Ethereum. And Multiverse X has very, very low fees. They're very fast. And also they're one of the most secure blockchains. So just to give you some more context why we chose this particular blockchain.
Claro, antes ha explicado que una de las funcionalidades va a ser poder crear NFTs, ¿no? Entonces, claro, si tú tienes que crear NFTs y tienes que, digamos, apificar la plataforma y tienes que crear unidades o creaciones dentro de la blockchain, que claro, que si el fee que tienes que pagar por cada una es altísimo, que eso no es escalable y que no tendría interacción la gente. Por eso han elegido esta blockchain, ¿no? Murillo... Ya hemos dicho que se va a listar en MEXC, ¿vale? Y que están mirando otras plataformas. ¿Se podría comparar el uso que se le quiere dar con Blocktopia? Well, I don't know if you heard about Blocktopia, but they are asking if we can compare the use that you want to deliver to A1X with Blocktopia. Blocktopia seems to be another...
I don't really want to talk about other similar Web3 projects, but... you can see the use cases on our website, and they're pretty self-explanatory, I think.
Ok. Bueno, no sé si tenéis alguna pregunta más. La verdad que yo he disfrutado muchísimo. I enjoy so much, Mihai, talking with you and listening.
Same here.
The way you are moving and launching your project, I think it's fantastic. The work you already done and the video we saw seems like completely different from other projects, and the way you want to launch the token with the tokenomics that you mentioned, I think also is very special, very different. That's why also you are in Bit2Me. We are working as a team.
Yeah.
And the community is very excited. Everyone is very happy. Voy a recordaros cómo podéis acceder, si no lo sabéis, dentro de los productos que tenemos en Bit2Me, en el desplegable de la izquierda en la app o en la página web. Si vais a Launchpad, vais a tener la primera opción, A1X, que ya está disponible. Como decía, mirad el Space Center que tenéis, el nivel, porque los tokens se están agotando. Se han vendido casi todos los que tenemos disponibles. Probablemente después de este programa no queden muchos. La compra máxima son 5.000 euros, la compra mínima son 100. Si tenéis cualquier duda, tenéis a todo el equipo de Bit2Me, ¿vale? Para echaros una mano. Seguir en las redes al equipo de Mihai, al equipo de Nexus. Y I don't know, Mihai, sorry for mixing Spanish with English, but
no, that's fine. That's perfect.
I love it. And well, if you want to say something to our community, to Bit2Me community, and moving forward, what's your view? Just to make to close the circle, they always like to know what is your view about the current situation of the ecosystem, the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space. I think that will be very interesting for them as well.
Yeah, before I do that, just know that I don't have a lot of experience in the Web3 space, just a few years compared to you, Javier, and many others. However, I see from my end, and this is why I wanted to basically do something in Web3, because I do believe blockchain, crypto, Web3, all these keywords that we say now, and not a lot of people know them. I think in the next maybe 6 months or a year, especially with the situation happening in the United States, where adoption seems to be more favored now, I think there will be a lot more adoption. A lot of companies will start to get interested into investing into crypto, into moving some of their assets and services on the blockchain. And I think games will, almost all of them, start to move towards crypto, towards NFTs as like utility NFTs, towards the idea of users owning their own game assets. And plus, there's a lot of applications like RWA that I think will also just be found everywhere in the next few years. So I'm very optimistic and very bullish on the future of crypto. I don't want to talk about the Bitcoin price or anything like that. The higher it goes, the happier we are, of course. But yeah, I think mass adoption has started, and it's really fast. It may look slow to us, and during the bear market, it may look very depressing, but I think it's happening, and we're one of the examples. We're a game studio that for 15 years have created only Web2 games, and now are switching almost entirely towards Web3. So if we're doing this, a lot of other companies and content producers are doing the same. So yeah, I think the future is really, really bright for crypto and blockchain.
Well, I agree with everything you said, and I appreciate your you are cautious. You don't want to give bullish messages, but you want to be realistic.
Yeah, exactly.
We are in a tipping point, I think, in the market. We are moving to the adoption curve, and in the game industry also this is going to be a fantastic tool. Pues nada, comenta que es muy positivo acerca del futuro, que ve un desarrollo dentro de la industria de los videojuegos muy clara, de que podamos ser poseedores de los activos digitales con los que interactuamos dentro de los videojuegos, que también con lo que está pasando en Estados Unidos estamos viendo una curva de adopción que puede crecer, pero quiere ser cauto, no quiere dar mensajes aquí demasiado de meter FOMO, ¿no? Como a veces hago yo. Y bueno, que estamos en un momento muy bueno, que está muy ilusionado con el proyecto y que yo creo que va a darnos alegrías, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, vamos a seguir de cerca. We are going to follow you close, Mihai, with your project AI Nexus. I think it's very, very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. All the community is very excited, very happy. So hope to see you soon in Spain to make the next interview in Spanish. I think that will be
perfect.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I come to Spain every year, so it's my favorite country next to my home country. So yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I love talking about my project. And yeah, if you follow us on our socials, you'll keep seeing videos, progress, and all the stuff that we're building, experimenting, trying out in AI Nexus. Hopefully you'll enjoy it.
Well, it's been fantastic, Mihai. Thank you so much again, and see you soon.
Yep, thank you very much.
Bueno, muchísimas gracias a toda la comunidad. Recordad que siempre nos viene fantástico el like. Si queréis comentarlo en Telegram, en la comunidad de Bit2Me, lo que está haciendo el equipo de Nexus con este lanzamiento de este nuevo token en Launchpad, pues encantados. Y si tenéis cualquier cuestión, cualquier duda, pues aquí estaremos, ¿vale? Thank you so much. Gracias, Giovanni, que estás ahí a los mandos. And see you soon. Mihai.
Gracias.